Welcome back to Night of the Blackwater. I am Ben, and here we have the top 4 game from the Aldershot Regional. On the right here we have Richard Walker from the White Walkers YouTube channel playing Targaryen Crossing, and on the left we have Callum, who is playing Baratheon Fealty. We've seen both these decks in previous videos. Richard has taken Mulligan. I'm not sure Callum has. I kind of missed that bit part of the game, but we will see. And Rich trying to work out his setup. So, yeah, this is up to the Red Wedding, so it's a little bit out of date now, unfortunately. But I need to get out for completeness before we get on to the UK Nationals. And I am sorry that it's taking a little bit longer than I had hoped to get out, but I've just been a little bit snowed under / I think I was a little bit burnt out from Nationals. Not from the game, but just from a pure... It's taken up a lot of my free time, so I do apologise. But we'll get onto those now. So onto the first plot phase. Obviously we've got Sniper Mel and a Dragonstone Faithful for Callum. And we have Grey Worm, Adora, and a Rose Road for Richard. So Richard's probably one setup, but obviously Melisandre can be a bit of a pain in the backside. Especially if Callum can win Dom, and you'd imagine that's what he's going to try and do with this deck. Alright, we're on to the first plot, and we have Time of Plenty into Noble Cause. I imagine here Rich's going to let Callum go first. And we can see a Milk of the Poppy in Callum's hand there. Trying to see if I can work out what else they've got. We can see an Argo in Richard's hands. 2 Milks of the Poppy for Callum, which obviously at the moment's not the best card, because the only target over there you'd really want to do it on would be Grey Worm, but you'd have to Nightmares him first, and that's a lot of effort to just put a Milk on, which, although this is before Flea Bottom, so Viserys' shenanigans are slightly harder to pull off, and before the Iron Bank will have its due to get rid of these attachments. It still probably seems a lot of effort, but there's probably better targets to do. So we have a Dragonstone Faithful knelt to bring out Dragonstone Faithful, then the other Dragonstone Faithful knelt and Fealty, the Lord and Lady reduction, and King Bob is on the board, leaving Callum on 2 gold. Now you'd think, being you're up against Targaryen, there's a lot of kill effects. Valor's probably going to be happening. That you'd want to. You've got some saves there. I've definitely seen a Bodyguard in hand, and I've definitely seen a Spears in the Merlin King. Cam's going to try and milk Grey Worm, and Rich is very kindly going to go, you can have that back, buddy. It clearly says no attachment set weapon there. Yeah, that Grey Worm's ability can be pretty good. He was pretty much the centerpiece, well, him and Danny were the centerpiece of my Targaryen Reigns deck. Which, isn't probably the most competitive deck in the meta. It's still a lot of fun. So, Callum going to do anything else here? There's a Rich collecting gold. I don't know if Callum's passed. I should just point out that the last video, I have no audio from the game, unfortunately. For whatever reason, it hasn't saved. So, I am trying to work out what's going on by watching the players. And indeed, we do have a Bodyguard put out. The King's Road, which is an interesting include. I think Callum here just wants Richard to wait a second. He might Nightmares that King's Road. It's an interesting include, because obviously Great Halls have kind of replaced them, but I'm assuming because this is there's a more rushy build, it's in there just to because you're playing on winning in a few turns, and sometimes you're going to want to get out some non-unique characters. And obviously, King's Roads pay for themselves straight away, whereas a Great Hall can take 3 turns to pay for itself if you don't see any 6-cross characters. 6-7-cross characters. So, Richard's just deciding what to play here. I've seen a Khal Drogo in hand, so I imagine it's going to be that. And yeah, it looks like it is. Khal Drogo's brought out for 3 gold, thanks to the King's Road. And is Richard going to do anything else? He has got a Rhaegal in hand, and a Dracarys, and a Oh, we've got that. What's it? The Blood Rider event. And Richie is going to sit on 3 gold. So the Blood Rider event, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's, you pay 3 gold, you search your deck for a Blood Rider, you put it into play, and at the end of the turn, it's returned to your hand. Now, it's a great event for getting some characters out onto the board quickly, especially in crossing, and with Drogo out, because you got the option to get all 4 challenges off. But obviously with Sniper Mel around, you've got to win Dom, or it's a bit risky. So I believe Callum here has passed challenges. Richard just doing the maths on if he could win on the military, which Bob's currently strength 7. And Richard's going to do an injury challenge with Grey Worm. Callum can block this. Obviously, Graham's ability does mean that Callum would probably lose the challenge, although he does have a Nightmares in hand. So I don't know if he wants to Nightmares and fully block, draw a card. Potentially, I think you may want to Nightmares the Khal Drogo, because 2 militaries here would be pretty brutal. Because you'd be setting up for the march. You're quite happy for Doria to get marched, for Bob or Mel to disappear. And Callum's going to let that go unopposed. Claim is going to be, I believe that is Tupuk's Armory. Whichever, the one that if you win Dom, draw a card. Yeah, I do apologise. The camera angle positioning here isn't brilliant. I do apologise. And Richard D is going to pay that event. So 3 gold. Guess a search for a Blood Rider. Argo probably makes the most sense right now, because he can get a dupe in hand if he can win Dom. And obviously Argo can stand. And indeed, that's what he does. Now, Argo is also one of those characters I love, because he's summer traded, so you only see summer, but he hasn't got any negative for it being winter. So unlike Fish Whiskers, who doesn't work if there's a summer. Had to have more winter plots for him to work. Argo just works, and it's a pretty good ability. Just stand another Blood Rider, especially when you got Drogon. I always get the names mixed up. So you can get stealth when Argo's out and then stand. So I'm going to assume this is a military as we've already done the intrigue. And looks like Bob is going to defend that. So I imagine here Richard's going to stand Argo. And go again. Oh, yep, so we've got Renowned. And yep, Richard's going to stand him. And then Callum's going to Nightmares Khal Drogo. Now, I'm not sure that was the right option here, because now you've basically given Richard the option to win Dom. So he can now do a power challenge with Dora. Well, actually, probably Carl, actually. No, that'd be Ty Dom. But, you've basically given up Mel's ability here. And knowing that Blood Rider's going to have to go back to hand, I'd want to kill it in hand. And yet, Richard's just going to pass to win Dom. And so, yeah. Okay, I was going to say, I should always say, I know people do probably know this, realise this, but I'm never being critical of the players, because they're all good players. They wouldn't have got to the finals if they hadn't been, but I'm just sometimes trying to give commentary on what I would do. And whoa, Rick, I never say which Blood Rider that was he got rid of. I can't remember the name. Well, the one who gets intimidated is another Blood Rider out. So Rich again there. So it's Rich playing King's Rage. Just seems to got Political Disaster in his plot deck. So Great Hall's a reliability there, because you can use the Political Disaster to wipe the other board. And we've got another Time of Plenty into Calling the Banners. So I'm going to assume Callum's going to make Richard go first, especially with 2 Milks of the Poppy in hand. That would seem to make sense. Only getting 3 gold from Calling the Banners. Richard wanting to draw more cards. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Ryan's Tyrell Crossing deck, which would used to open up. This is obviously the beginning of the cycle, things have moved on a bit, but would open up Time of Plenty, then Clash of Kings. Just try and draw all the cards and then try and win on turn 3. Sometimes we win on turn 2, it was just so fast. I doubt this is quite as fast. So Richard's going to get Argo out, going to dupe him, leaving him with 2 gold. So we've got Danny, looks like a Nightmares. I imagine Danny though is probably going to be dead by the end of the turn because of Mel. And so Callum's got 6 gold. Milk on Caldrogo. Milk on Argo. Get that full lock on. Nope, don't want any of those shenanigans. Dupe on Bob. Yeah, okay, maybe then playing the bodyguard on Bob was a slight mistake because now he's seen his dupe. And Fealty being that looks like the red keep. Yeah, indeed it is. So we have the red keep played out. I think they've got some Bara and Selmy in hand. Yeah, Callum looks like he's recovered very well this turn. And reduces the next character by 2. We have Edric Storm. So the Dom tech is pretty strong. Just missing the painted table and the chair, but you got the Mel trigger, you got the Edric Storm trigger, and I imagine Callum now plays a pretty defensive game. He does need to win the power challenge. He can probably let the intrigue and the military go unopposed and then block the mill. So block the power, sorry, with Bob. Because Bobby's currently strength 7. So Richard looks like he's going to do an intrigue to start with. It's always the awkward thing because you don't want to run into Bob out too early, but every challenge you do makes Bob that little bit stronger. He has got Nightmares. He's also got Awakening the Dragon, so maybe you'll see Khal Drogo go and do a military. Nightmares Bob, stand him Awaken the Dragon, do the power challenge, and then you can get rid of that milk off him, play him out again next turn. It's a good way of getting rid of those attachments. So we've got Intrigue from Grey Worm. Now, this is one of those things I like doing against Baratheon play as well, because if he defends this, even though he probably can't win it, it's a good indicator he's probably got Eyes of the Fury in hand. And indeed, there it is, Eyes of the Fury. You can see it there in his hand. So that's a great way of getting your characters restood. Defend it, especially Bob, you can defend 2 challenges. Probably stand and go aggressive on the 3rd. Or Melisandre to get her insight going. Obviously, you would lose the first challenge in this situation, Melisandre. It does Callum a bit of an awkward spot here, because even if he defends us, he is going to lose because of Grey Worm's ability. And he's going to let it go unopposed. So Richard up to 3 power now. Creeping ahead. And he gets Spears the Merlin King. Which is a card which came out with a lot of hype, but has backed off a little bit. I had something that the tempo hit sometimes playing his characters back out is just not as good as just saving them, which is a fair assessment. We have a military challenge from Argo. And it looks like Bob is going to defend this challenge. He's just having a think. Indeed, Bob is going to defend the challenge. Will Bob get nightmares first? Is Rich going to let it go? Rich is letting it go, not nightmaresing Bob. That's interesting. I guess he probably figured he'd lost the challenge anyway. Now, that awkward moment, you realise you're probably going to have a character die here. So, do you just go? You might as well go all in. Get the card draw. Not quite sure Richard's saying here, so he's got no audio, but yeah, looks like he's going to do both of them into a power challenge. So it's power challenge for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 because of crossing. So looks like, yeah, are we going to see it? Ours is the Fury. Says now Richard going to nightmares him. Oh, Hand's Judgment. Oh. Did not see that in his hand. I thought this was a clear nightmares there for nightmares to keep him down. That is Richard. That is brilliant. And gets the crossing power. There's no claim, no renowned, and gets insight. So leaving the board to Callum. Does Callum bother doing a power challenge here? Or does he go for it? Goes for the Dom win? Because you get more power from Mel going into the power challenge. Oh, we're going to have Awakening the Dragon. I assume that was a gold. That must be 0 gold. And okay, looks like Callum is basically passing challenges. So yes, Callum is going for Dom, which does now mean Richard potentially getting Khal Drogo killed. But I guess there is a lot of good characters in hand to kill. So you got Danny, you got one of the dragons, you got Jacaerys, you got Khal Drogo. And he's going to kill Danny. Such a strong ability. So on to the next plot phase, and just while they're choosing plots, let's say a big shout out and thank you to the Patreon supporters. You're going to help me definitely improve this challenge in time to come. I've been looking at some equipment to get to upgrade the streaming to be able to give better quality streams when I'm out and about, sort of giving commentary as well as during the games. So if you would like to help the channel, please do check out the description below. There is ways on how to on links on how to support the channel on Patreon. And yeah, it's very much appreciated. It's been quite good so far. So thank you to everyone who has pledged. They're really helping get these videos out, and I say soon you guys will be helping make the streams even better, which is the important thing. So again, thank you. So I had the third set of plots there, and we've had Time of Plenty into Summer Harvest. So Richard choosing Callum to go first. Not a bad pull for Richard because we know he needs the gold. And we have a great haul from Callum. Callum has got a fair bit though. So we know he's got a Sabaristan in hand. But probably not a bad shout right now. You put him into a military aggressively, and then you can stand him on the defense. Richard being crossing kind of has to do the military. And also, worst case, you can just defend the military of him and stand, and then defend the military and stand, and you haven't really lost anything. Obviously, you can get nightmares, which it makes it less useful. So we have, and indeed, there's Sabaristan. So Great Hall, the Fiery Followers, and now leaving Richard with 1 gold. Sorry, leaving Callum with 1 gold. Interesting, he didn't leave the other. He didn't nail the other Dragonstone Faithful. So Richard getting his massive 9 gold. And we've got a Drogon. Drogon? No, I can't remember his name. I do apologise here, people. The Blood Rider who gains stealth when there's another Blood Rider on the board. And his strength is increased for every dead character. And we have a Viserion. We know there's a Dracarys in hand, so I wonder if Rich can try and ward him off with that. Now, interesting, Richard decided not to put out Khal Drogo, because again, if Callum wins Dom, you'd imagine Drogo's going to die. There is a Fire and Blood in hand, so you could potentially use that to bring the character back in the challenge phase, shuffle them back into the deck. And we have Sejura. So she's doing a very good job here of having a nice even icon spread to help these crossing triggers. I believe he's passed, so both of them got a goal left. Callum still has Fealty. And we're on to challenge phase. So Callum potentially not going to do any challenges here. Now, Callum has been pretty passive in this game, but he's still only 1 power behind, losing currently 3 to 4. So I'm going to assume this is going... Oh, okay, Callum getting aggressive. So you'd assume this is this is power? Yeah. So power for 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 currently. Richard can defend for 3, 5, 6, 7. So what are we going to see in the Richard's Nightmares played now on Bob? I wonder if he's going to try and nil. So Callum's also, it's quite simple Callum because he's also quite safe. If he does get Nightmares, he can still win the challenge. So Richard just going to defend, giving up a chance of Dracarysing as well, but then I guess most of the characters on Dracarys are too strong to be Dracarys. So we have Power Claim, Renowned, and Intimidate. I guess you'd go for the Stealth option? Or would you go for Grey Worm? It's a tough choice. He's going to go for Grey Worm. Now he can now defend his intrigue, the intrigue challenges. I'm assuming Callum is going to pass there. And I think Callum has just passed there, so they are having a conversation. I'll say I can't make a thing out, but yes, indeed. Over to Richard. So I'm going to guess this is an intrigue. It could be power, I guess, actually. It could be military. I'm going to guess this is intrigue. And indeed, it looks like it is, because Mel's going to defend. Waking the Dragon there for Richard. So, Insight to draw a card. One of the big advantages of new mail, or sniper mail. So this is probably going to. This is the power. So Richard here doing the power challenge now. Going to do the military last, but he's going to do the military at all. So Richard's going to win the power challenge, kneeling the red keep, which is very important. I don't quite get why he had to kneel the red keep, why he had to nightmares the red keep, because I think he'd won the challenge, hadn't he? 3-3. But okay. Well, then I assume Richard passes. Can't take Dom because of it. Edric, Storm, or blank Segura. At which point it would then be 3-2 on Dom. So you might as well do the military. Get the unopposed power. So get the unopposed power, get the crossing power, get power on Segura, which put Rich up to 7. So it'll be 7-5-6 once he wins Dom. So still keeping him talking with that lead. And the military goes unopposed. We have going to choose Bob as the target, standing Sebastian. Probably the safe option there, because Bob does have a save if it does go wrong for some reason. And shell taken. So 7-5, going to be 7-6 once Callum wins Dom. Indeed, yeah. Richard just getting his hand ready. So Khal Drogo, looking at Waking the Dragon. It's also just last winding exactly what's in hand. So you know he's got a Dracarys. You know that's a threat, but obviously I say most of the characters he cares about. Oh, is he going to go for Dracarys, not Khal? That's interesting. I guess just taking the threat out's not a bad one. You don't really care about military at the moment. I might be worried Fire and Blood might be a plot coming up soon, which should kill both of the Chuds. And then starts with Grey Worm, starts leaving up to characters potentially getting killed. No, he's going to go for Khal. Let's kill Khal Drogo. Get him off the board. Okay, we're on to the 4th turn. And say Richard's currently up by 1. If I haven't put it at the beginning of this video, because I can't quite remember, I have not recorded the final. The White Walkers channel has recorded the final. And this video will be in a playlist along with all the other videos. And I will link the video in the playlist. I unfortunately had to go home before before the final started, so I couldn't be around to record it before she said the White Walkers were on hand. Okay, so we're on to the next plot phase, and we have Calm into Feast for Crows. Now, in the last video we had here, Callum forgot to trigger Feast for Crows, which will run in the game a lot quicker. So let's see if he remembers it this time. So Richard's choosing power for no power claim, which it seems very sensible. So I imagine Callum's, and he's probably made Callum go first, but imagine we'll see Callum set up some, marshal some stuff, and then once Richard's done marshalling, he's going to pass challenges. So we've got Butter Bumps in hand. With a Rose Red. I always like getting Butter Bumps out, because his extra, the extra draw is always good. And generally speaking, if you're losing power challenges, you're probably losing the game, so he kind of doesn't feel like a bad character to put out. It's going to be sensible with him. Oh, looks like we might have a big character here by the amount of gold Callum's. So reduced by 2. Butter Bumps. No. Great Hall to bring out Gendry. And we have Fealty, and 1 for Butterbumps. Not Butterbumps, sorry, Moonboy. And 4 gold left. So I imagine part of that's because Callum doesn't want to go too wide because he's probably running Wildfire. You'd also imagine here that Richard has got some form of reset. Most probably Valor, it being Targaryen, although we've not seen any Slaver's Bay, so maybe not. We have a Littlefinger. Triggering Littlefinger to draw some more cards. And looks like he's going to sit on 1 gold. It's always a thing with Baratheon. Never feels bad using those reducers. Getting them now. Up Bob's strength. So that's like Rich can sit on 1 gold. Is Callum going to bother doing any challenges? I don't think it's worth it now because there's no power claim. Military's not going to do anything for you. You might kill Dora. Woo! Yep, indeed, Rich going to sit 1 gold. So on to Callum for challenges, which I imagine is going to be a big, I'm alright, bud. Over to you. I was going to do the maths on it, actually. Maybe he's thinking about the Intimidate and getting 2 renowned. No, it's making me think now he might have passed. Oh no, he's going to do a challenge. He is going to go in. So I'm going to guess this is an intrigue. Which Richard is going to oppose, not going to go unopposed. And we have a Rygel taken for claim, insight from Mel. That is one big advantage over Sniper Mel over Cormel. Is that with Cormel, you'd never do that against Targ. The threat of her being Jakaris is just too high. We do have Bob and Sebastian getting into a challenge. And Richard didn't count the red keep there, so either he's forgotten about it. Yeah, this does look like it must be a military. And going to block with Viserion. I wonder if he's going to kill Viserion. This is military. Indeed, yes, he is, and bring him back with Fire and Blood. So Renowned and Renowned. And who's going to get the Intimidate? Going to be Grey Worm. So leaving Richard with 4 characters standing. I can't imagine Callum's going to do the power challenge here. It just does seem very little worth to it. Saying that Rich might have chosen to kill Viserion because he's worried about wildfire coming up soon. Probably not. Probably would still kept to kill someone else if you're going to think about wildfire. To Callum's challenges, and we have, I'm going to guess there's an intrigue. The only reason to put her in by herself. I have another ours as the Fury. Nothing Rich can do about this. There's not enough gold. So Bob is going to stand and defend the challenge and gain a power. And I think that's a pretty critical moment in this game. So Callum is now up to 9 power. If Rich doesn't do anything else, Callum's also going to win Dom, which went up to 12 power. And I think this game's starting to get out of Richard's reach. We've got a military coming in, which seems... Oh, sorry, 13 power, I forgot about Gendry. That seems risky. I think if it was me, I would let this go unopposed, kill a Chud, and then go to kill Bob and then stand to Barristan. And you see that Milk and Argo is doing such good work here because Richard's played 4 summer plots, so that's 4 turns he would have stood, and he just can't. So let's take unopposed. We've got Claim, and choose Bob as a target, stands Barristan, and now Richard can't do a power challenge, or he's just going to lose. He's basically going to give Callum the game if he does the power, I think, because that would be 2 lots of renowned, Dom, Feast for Crows, and Gendry, and that puts him on 15. So, that Ours of the Fury was critical there. Oh, sorry, Wayne, you'll give him to 14, sorry, won't it? Because, obviously, he'll stealth past one of the big guys. So we've got a Scene in Flames and... Sorry, not Scene in Flames. What was that? Fire and Blood to bring back Viserion. Waking the Dragon to stand Dora. So this is a power challenge for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Stealthing Bob, assumably. So, so just going to block with Edric Storm. That's a lot of effort to win a power challenge. But Crossing and Claim is going to put Richard up to 10. Callum's going to be up to 12. And on the Insight of Dora, because there was a Lord in the challenge. So Dora comes back to hand because Awaken the Dragon. No draw there for Callum, which is also quite important. His hand isn't that big. So we've got Dom. We've got Feast for Crows. Oh, Gendry, yeah. Is he going to get Feast for Crows again? Obviously, Mel's trigger. Might be tempted to take the Jakaris. Could also be tempted to... Yeah, it's going to take the Jakaris. Oh no, he's having another think. Yeah. We see Rich got the other 2 dragons in hand as well. Yeah, Jakaris. I think that's probably the right choice there, because it doesn't matter how many dragons you got on the board. If there's no Jakaris, Danny's already dead, so there's nothing the dragons can do with that. And has he forgotten Feast for Crows? And just remembers Feast for Crows. That could have been big there, because he goes from having being 12-10 up to forgotten Feast for Crows would be 10 all, and Richard still has a way into this game. So who's going to be first to blink and wildfire here? I think Callum in some respects wants to wildfire going by his expression, but just can't. I think it would be too risky to wildfire now. And we are plot 5. Close call into close call. So Richard really tripling down on these summer plots. More importantly, there's Richard's choice on who goes first. I don't think he can let Callum go first, which is the awkward thing, because I think Callum just goes in with a massive power challenge and wins the game. So Carl Drogo's coming back. No, Danny's coming back to life. I don't think Callum actually has anyone dead, which is probably why I didn't want to play the plot. And Richard saying that. So he brought Danny back to life and immediately draws Carl Drogo. It's always the way. The amount of times I've done that. There's 2 options. I'm going to bring the alive. Oh, I've drawn the other one. Great. So we have the Great Horn out to bring out Crescent. And we have another Dragonstone Faithful. And yeah, Callum I think is just building up here to do a bonkersly big power challenge and win the game. Which puts out a King's Road. All's Callum going to nightmares it. And he is. He's going to nightmares it. So, trying to choke Richard a little bit here. We have Khal Drogo paid for the remaining 6 gold, leaving Richard with... Except he can't, because he didn't bring Khal Drogo back to life. We have Viseria's played out. We have Dora played back out. And I think Richard just loses here now. Deep into Jura. And a... I can never quite remember what they're called. The Handmaiden, is it? Discard them to stand a lady character. Absolutely crazy in Tyrell Banner of the Dragon with Flea Bottom now. So Callum's going to do the mother of all power challenges. Going in for all of it. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and that is it. Richard concedes. So good game there. Quite a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And well done to Callum. Commiserations to Rich. And we will see you all next time, which will be the start of the coverage from Nationals. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. If you want to help that channel for more, it's Patreon. And as always, it has been emotional.